Hey guys, I'm Phoenix here and welcome to Elite Dangerous. Now this is a game that's changed quite a lot, got a lot of stick, but to me it's quite a detailed game. It's maybe not something you play for long periods of time, something you sort of jump into, well for me anyway, sort of jump into, do a few missions, haul some stuff, smuggle some stuff. And yeah, and it's changed quite a bit, because when it first released it was very grindy. It didn't have these sort of much higher value missions. They've added quite a lot. They've added even more in the Horizons update, or expansion I should say. And they've also added more ships, and I can't show you those ships because I don't have a shipyard on this station, but or should I say planet, because I'm currently actually at a planet, on a planet I should say, and I'm gonna in a second I'll take off from the planet and I'll show you some SRV stuff, because it's awesome. I love the SRV stuff. You're just driving around on a planet and going really fast and all sorts of stuff, so it's kind of awesome from that point of view. So yeah, we got all these new missions that we could potentially take. I'm not going to take any of these missions because I want to just drive around on the surface in a second. And there's also a load more. Actually, we'll just show you outfitting. In order to drive around on the surface, you do need a planetary vehicle hangar and a vehicle bay. You have to buy both of these, but the vehicle bay does come with a free SRV. If the SRV gets destroyed while you're in it, then you get respawned into your ship. So I'm flying an Asp at the moment, which I'm using as a sort of an all-rounder. It's designed as an explorer ship. I'm using it as a sort of a hauler, smuggler sort of ship. What is it? Yeah, in the commodities market, we've got all these new types of, surface stabilizers and evacuation shelters and all this sort of thing. And you can kind of see the supply and demand for all of these. It used to say sort of high, low, but they've kind of reduced it down to this bar system. So, for example, they really want bootleg liquor at the moment on this station, and as a result, the price is going to be you'll be able to buy it for very cheap and sell it for 540, because that's the galactic average to sell, and that's a lot higher than that. So you can actually play the markets. A little easier, I guess, with that. It's a lot easier to just quickly see what they really want, and at the moment they really want liquor and painite, apparently. So the galactic average for that is 33,000 an item, and they'll buy it for 34,733. So that's reasonable. HE suits again. So yeah, you can quickly see what they want. No, I don't want to. No, bad. Right. So that's that. So they've got a few new items, a few surface-specific items that you can buy from space stations, and then you can add your planets into your trade runs, which is kind of neat, really. And then Universal Cartographics is as normal. I can't sell any of those. Right, so let's launch. I am also carrying an occupied escape pod, which counts as stolen at the moment, but it shouldn't matter, because it'll only matter if I sort of land somewhere. I need to ditch it, really. It's not really
Ship released. Engines engaged.
worth being scanned and fined for carrying it, really. I thought it would have been quite nice to have sort of a more legitimate
Landing gear retracted.
way of getting rid of it. Maybe the black market price is 4,000, but you get sort of a much lower bounty almost for picking it up. That would have been quite good, but yeah, it doesn't work that way. So oh well. Right, so I'm gonna fly away from the planet a little bit, and sorry, fly away from the station a little bit, then land and see quite what trouble we can get into in our SRV. It's sort of more down here now, so you Shift S and it's all down here, and we'll go through it a little bit more in a second. There is a sort of an orbital, I don't know what you call it, an orbital cruise I think they call it, which is faster than you would travel around a planet, but it's slower than your sort of system cruise. Right, should be far enough away now. So let's land, I guess. So
Landing gear deployed.
okay, my landing gear's deployed, and we're sinking fast. I'm just literally I've stopped the ship basically, and I'm lowering it. Now, something that's quite interesting about this this game is that when you're flying around in space, obviously these are spaceships. There we go, it's secured. Obviously these are spaceships, so they were designed technically for non-atmospheric travel. Now they're all capable of atmospheric travel, but you will feel the ship sort of shimmy a little bit more, especially at high speeds when you're actually coming into land from space, which is a really, really nice touch. It kind of just shimmies all over the place. So, you're going from space where you've got no air resistance to a planet where you do, and it's kind of a little bit shaky as you're coming down. That's a nice touch, it's another touch of, something that they didn't necessarily need to add. Right, so let's deploy my SRV. I think you can have multiple of these. You can also have fighter bays. Some ships can be fitted with fighter bays, which is kind of awesome. So you can have a cargo ship with a fighter bay. So if you come under attack, you could technically just release the fighter. Right, let's go out in our SRV. Lights are on. Controls are a little weird, but you get used to them. Let's just drive around. Okay, increase distance from the ship. Can I? What I want to do is, there we go. Now I can access my turret, because then I can show you my ship. So this is the Asp. It's dark, unfortunately, but you can kind of drive around your ship and see it, unless you get too close and it disables the turret. So yeah, that's the ship, and you can also, if you don't really want it just static there, because after all it's an SRV, you're going to go off on and explore. What you really want to do is dismiss the ship, and the ship will orbit basically, and it will run on a sort of a basic AI until you want it again, and you can use your scanner to find useful stuff. So let's have a little bit of an explore and a little bit of a drive, because why not? Right, I'm heading for this signal, trying to get the signal. You can kind of, it's very small, quite faint, so that's an ore thing that we're going after, which is going to be useful for the synthesis system. And as it gets shorter, we get closer. It took me a little while to get used to this, but it's quite a good way of doing things. So you can, when you're in the air, you can use your WASD keys to sort of tilt your vessel, and then Q and E are your throttles. Right, should be nearby. Aha! What have we found? Let's activate the turret and let's have a look. Right, so it's some kind of ore. Basically what we do is we shoot it until the little ore fragments come out. and go back into our ship using U. Open the bay, and then we should just be able to drive over them. Do you have to actually lock? Yeah, you actually do have to lock. Okay. A little bit klutzy, I guess, but you do actually have to sort of lock onto them and then drive over them to pick them up. So we get some various materials out of this, and this is all used for the synthesis system. It's really easy to do this in. It's a lot harder when you're doing this in a spaceship. Right, so using synthesis, what we can actually do is restock our ammo, for example, or repair the SRV, or these things need to be done in a ship, but you can refuel and repair and restock your SRV on the fly. So let's do that. Let's rearm the... Okay. Something's happened. So technically now we've rearmed our thing. Now there's a data link scanner there, apparently. So that fires the laser, and that should activate the data link scanner. I don't know what that does. I'm going to have a little bit of a poke around. Might be this thing that's actually in front of us. Right. So the largest signals that we get are meant to be buildings or ships or stuff, basically. Now we're getting a little bit... Oh, of course it could just be ghosting. I don't know. Let's go towards that and let's see what that is. You can get quite a bit of boost on this. Also, you can fly using spacebar. And you can get a bit of air and then come down. Obviously the ship can be damaged. You get a shield as standard, and then you've got your hull as well to worry about. But you can get some air. You can get up some quite fast speeds. You can spin it out like I just did. It's quite fun. This is the thing, right? So we've just seen planets get added to Space Engineers, and the problem with planets is that they don't offer anything new. The game itself is in a bit of a state, and so the tools that you might use to play around on planets don't necessarily work very well. So it's a little bit of a meh, really. On the other hand, when you look at something like Elite, they had a working game to start with, and then they said let's add planets, and I believe these might be DX11 only. Ooh, that could be quite interesting. Yeah, so they had a working game, and then they added, and Frontier had a working game. Then they added planets, and they made it so that it would be fun to drive around on a planet. You can get some air, you can tilt your ship, you can do some barrel rolls, flip your ship around, do whatever you like really, and then pick up the materials so that you can repair your ship and do it all over again. It's a pretty good way of doing things. Now, this is the first version of the crafting system. They are going to be fleshing it out a little bit so that you can make a little bit more of a business, I guess, from planets and from materials and the like. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing quite what they come up with. There's been a load of new ships being added. There's a sort of a more combat orientated version of the Type 6. So A few more hard points, a little bit more expensive. I think it's about 3 million credits to get, which sounds like a lot, but once you're hauling stuff around, it's really not. Right, we've got some more ore here, which I'm going to pick up because I like ore. There we go. Let's go back to you. Oh, niobium. I haven't seen that before. Oh, I've got my cargo. I've still got my cargo thing open. Probably should have brought that back up. I don't know if you can sell the material discovered things. I don't know. Right, well, we found that. Let's just bring the cargo scoop back up. There's a lot of very, very large signatures going on. I would be quite interested to see what they are. I mean, it could be something like a space station, or you know, moon base, as it were. 'Cause these are airless planets. At the moment, I think there's more planet types to be added later on. You can't land on all the planets yet because they want to make it good, basically, and I don't fault them for that at all. Yeah, there is a price tag on the expansion, but it's being run more like a free-to-play MMO where you just buy the expansions, and it is a pretty large expansion. You get the ships for free, the ships expansion, I believe. Yeah, you get the ships. There's like a few extra ships, but you have to pay for the ability to land on planets and mess around on them, which I can't fault them for that. There is something over there. I can see it. It's large, certainly. It might. Something that large is probably a station. But let's have a look. Oh, I'm all over the place. So yeah, ultimately though, this game is... Look, I like it. I think it gets a little bit of stick because it's it can get a bit grindy after a while, and it will also drop you in a Sidewinder, which is one of the worst ships the worst ship in the game, and you will be desperately trying to get out of that ship. It's a good ship just to sort of not really do anything in. It's basically a good ship to get out of that ship, more than anything. What is this? Right, what is this? I don't know. I don't know what this place is. Looks like... Oh, right, okay, we don't want to be here. I could be here. I want to look up the statistics for those defense turrets to find out quite how nasty those are. But I'm not worried about the skimmers, I'm worried about the defense turrets. Otherwise, that would be quite a good place to sort of pick up loot. There's sort of these bases around... I'm outside the perimeter. You can see the perimeter on your map. Just press U. You see there's all these things there. I don't really know what they are, but there's a couple of defense turrets and the skimmers. The skimmers are usually armed. The skimmers are armed. The stingers are basically flying bombs, so you might want to take those out first. These come down really, really easily. It's the defense turrets I'm not completely certain about. Plus, if you attack them, they do have a bounty on their heads, which is quite interesting. But if you attack them, you get a fine. which is a little bit odd as well. So yeah. Let us leave this place. There's another place over there, which might be interesting. But yeah, this is basically what you can do, and it's kind of fun, really. And I think that was their aim, was to make driving around on planets fun, and I think they succeeded. So with that, I will say thank you very much for watching. The game is now available on Steam, so you can purchase it on Steam. If you are going to go for Elite Dangerous, you might want to just you can buy Horizons, and then that also includes the first game at the same time. So yeah, or, you know, the original Elite Dangerous, I should say. So yeah, with that, yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time.